What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Cooldown Lab, episode 5 with your host, Jog and
Dr. Garrett, let's go.
Dr.
Episode
Gear.
5. Holy
Is it
crap.
episode 5? I tend to lose count. I'm not a doctor. I'm not great. I'm not great with science and math.
We're
But it
not
seems
rocket scientists, but we do enjoy talking about F1. We've got some more fun stuff to talk about today.
100%. And there's a lot going on. But first off, look at this. Do you see this?
Our first sponsorship on the podcast.
I know it's not
An
Aston
ex
Martin.
an extra medium McLaren vest for Jog
Extra
Paul.
medium McLaren. It's an extra large, but thank you. Thank you. Shout out to Derek at Optimum Nutrition for sending me this vest, McLaren vest. They're sponsors for McLaren. And he's like, yo, I see you like F1. You want a vest? I'm like, bro, sick. So huge shout out to Derek, Optimum Nutrition. It's such a nice vest. I'm just so excited. I wore it all day today, actually.
It only took one vest to make him sell out from Aston Martin. Let that
Yo,
sink in, everybody.
hey. I am not selling out Aston Martin. I feel for Oscar Piastri. I feel for him. All right. Oh man. Yeah, a lot's been going on. Let's talk a little bit about it and get right into it.
Heck yeah. We know that it's exciting and there's a lot of information dropping by the hour about testing today. We're going to give a bit of teaser of testing today, but we're not going to jump into a deep discussion on aerophysics because, as Jog Paul alluded to, neither of us are aerophysicists or wind benders like Adrian Newey. So we'll do a little bit more research before we talk a bit more about that next week. But we will jump into a little bit of about testing a little bit later in this episode. So stay tuned for that. But Jog Paul's got some stuff to kick us off with.
Yeah,
He's the master of the slideshow as we go.
let's talk about first thing is all this tea and all of this drama around the engines and Toto being at this like war with everyone else right now. And oh my God, is it getting spicy with, Red Bull just going up like, all right, we didn't really figure it out, guys. Here you are. Here's the recipe. This is what we got. And fuck you, Toto.
Heck yeah, man. The world of F1 is cutthroat. And if you can't build the car, you might as well tear someone else's down and, you know, whistle blow on what someone else is doing if you know how it's happening. So,
That
yeah.
is why I love F1. It's like stuff like this. It's like smart and like petty at the same time. Just like it's so brilliant.
You get a
Um,
bunch of the nerdiest and most petty dudes in one room who are
oh
ultra
my
competitive.
God,
You build
yes.
fast cars and you go telling all your friends for doing it better than you.
Yeah, and you know what? Like Toto had like this like, just like hit this pep in his step, like for this whole time, he's just like, "Oh, sucks that your engineers couldn't figure it out, but we did." You know what I mean? And like he was expected to have this like 2023 Max Verstappen season with George with this like advantage, and it seems like that dream is slowly slipping out of his grasp, and the teams are just pulling up against him. From my understanding, they're doing a vote. Is that right? Or is that happening? Or what's going
Yeah, I
on?
think they're voting to decide whether or not they want to let this slide or how they want to change the testing regulations. And at very least, I think they're moving towards, last I heard, a test that's going to happen when the engine's warm. The question remains, is it really the warm versus cold test that's going to, show what Mercedes is doing? Or is this all just a rouse to lead them astray while they, you know, capitalize on some other part of the engine that we haven't even talked about yet?
Oh
Rumors
my
flying everywhere.
God. What a like chess
Double
move that
fake.
would be.
Double fake.
Like they've got something else up their sleeve, and this is just a big distraction.
Double
That is,
fake. Who knows? Who knows? We
yeah.
won't know until the legal documents fall, but it keeps me wildly entertained every morning reading this stuff before work.
Well, truthfully, here's my opinion. I think that all the engines should have somewhat equal performance or somewhat close. There shouldn't be any loopholes that are exploited, and if they are, they should be fixed because that's what's gonna make racing fun and fair and more entertaining to watch. I think if I were the FIA, I would look at the greater good of the sport. Don't you agree?
Yes, but also if you handcuff everyone and give them F2 cars that just have different liveries on them to distinguish the teams, then no one pushes to be better and develop the sport. So I like the loopholes. I say go for it. I just
Yeah.
say, let everyone else bring your engines up to the same place year after year so that there's not just 5 years of dominance. There's one year where someone goes, aha, I got pulled a fast one on you. And then they have to
Yeah.
pull another fast one every year. So make it a development race, but at least have it reset every year so people have a chance. Don't screw
Yeah.
everyone for 6 years or 5 years
But
at a time.
I don't think I'm saying necessarily F2 cars like all the engines are identical, but more so like the rules should be all interpreted the same way. And if one team goes one way, I think they should be brought back.
In due time.
In due time. All right, all right. We'll leave it at that. Garrett
We
and I
can
can go back and
agree
forth
to
on this.
disagree on this
That's
for now.
okay. We're still friends at the end of the day. This is not going to put a wedge in our friendship.
Exactly. Because as friends, we still get to look at pretty cars. And that's what we're here to do at the start
That's
of this.
that's exactly what we're here
There's
to do.
well, two pretty cars dropped and one team copy pasted. We're going to get a chance to check that out. So we know what every single car looks like at this point moving into Bahrain. And then we'll
Yeah.
jump into a little bit about how the cars finally looked on tracks. And we've been dying to see for the last several weeks.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Should we start off with Cadillac?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So,
The Super
wait,
Bowl stars.
yo, honestly, I was let down a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I thought this was gonna be like in the Super Bowl or like a Super Bowl like commercial or something. I
You
watched the
watched
Super
you watched the whole Super Bowl just to see the Cadillac.
I
I was at his
literally
house and we were sim racing, and this man's like, "No, I gotta go watch the Super Bowl." Not because he wanted to watch football, but he wanted to see the Cadillac drop.
I literally did. I went up. I went right when you left. It was like I think halftime or close to halftime, and I went up and I'm telling all my other friends upstairs. I'm like, "Yo, did you see the Cadillac? Cadillac?" And they're like trolling me. They're like, "Yeah, there's Cadillac commercials on, right? What Cadillac? Like, what's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Bro, did you see the Cadillac? Show me the Cadillac!" And they're just like tripping balls. But yeah, it was disappointing because I thought it would at least be a commercial or announced or something big. I thought they would make a big statement, and just dropping the livery during Super Bowl, just whatever. I don't
But
know
how
about
did
you.
it look? That's what's
Yeah, it's a great
clarifying.
question. That's a great
We
question.
know you're wildly disappointed about the presentation. How did it look?
Yes, yes. Let's take a look. I have it right here. I'm bringing it up. Boom. Can you see it? Can you see it?
On its way. It'll drop. Zoom's lagging. There it is.
There
Boom.
we go.
Ooh.
Here
Not
it
only
is.
is it beautiful, but it's beautiful in different ways on both sides. They went with the two-tone car.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, in the beginning, looking at it, I fucking hated it. Like, I honestly just did not like it.
Tell me
I
how
was
you
like,
really feel.
it just like, there's no color to it. It just didn't pop out to me whatsoever. It looked very bland. And the more I look at it, the better it gets. I'm not gonna lie, but personally, it's still not all that great. And I hate to say this because the reception online has been phenomenal. People love it.
It looks very Cadillac.
It,
It's
geez,
not flashy. It's clean. It's
but
it's black and gray,
no,
if you will.
Garrett,
But you
Cadillac
can see
is
the logo.
flashy. Come on,
It's
Cadillac.
subtly flashy.
Dude, when you think about Cadillac, you don't think about like sleek and like low key, like you think like black gold Escalade, like big rims, like gangster car, like that. I mean, at least when it comes to Cadillac, that's what I think. And then they
Wait till it starts hopping on the track, then you'll see it's a real Cadillac.
just hydraulics going off, just freaking lowrider. Oh my God, that's funny. But honestly, to point out the good, I like the design, like the transition and the contrast from one side to the other. I think
Especially
that's
around
really
the
cool.
engine cover with the
Yeah.
Cadillac logo on the back.
Yeah, that looks clean and it transitions so seamlessly. And you got to give it that the black and white, like there's no colors clashing. It's just so streamlined. It is so streamlined. I really like that about it. But I also wonder what this does for like, does it make a difference to have a bright car versus a more subtle car like this as it when it comes down to driver awareness? Does this make a difference? Is there some sort of psychology behind this, doctor? Um, like I feel like
I'm
there,
sure there has to be some kind of psychology, but I think more than anything, a darker car without as many accents probably hides some of the aero and the parts that people are seeing.
yeah. You ever see those camouflage cars that are
Yeah,
like
exactly.
yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. And one of the actual F1 presenters that does a lot of the tech presenting, I forgot his name, but he said it's hard to see. And he was making a joke about it because the car was on the track and not in the garage, but I'm like, it is kind of hard to see.
If everything's checkerboard like the back of that Cadillac, it's hard to see what they're putting there. Opposed
Yeah,
to a nice glossy finish that's orange, you're like, aha, a small wrinkle. This
yeah.
it hides it.
It hides it for sure. But honestly, cool car. It's obviously less noticeable than like an Alpine bright blue, bright pink, and I feel like in a driver's peripheral, it might attract more attention than something that's just black and white. Might be a smart play, might be a smart move. I don't know if that it has any significance, but
Might get
uh,
them sent into the wall once or twice. We'll find out.
or yeah, people are just gonna is Lance is gonna drive into them. I don't know.
You wear the McLaren jersey once and you start hating on Lance Stroll.
Yo,
Welcome to the
Lance is
party,
my
sir.
boy, all
Welcome to the
right?
party.
Watch Lance WWE, WDC 2026.
He might win the WWE championship. He's not winning WDC, that's
Whoa.
for sure. Shots
Savage.
fired, I know.
Let's go on to the next team. Who do we have next? We have McLaren.
Got McLaren, team copy paste 2026.
Team copy paste. Let's see here. McLaren. You can have has it pulled up?
Yeah, it's up.
Perfect. McLaren. Let's look at their car. Garrett, you start off with this. I think you already said it. You just elaborate on that.
It's Control C, Control V. Take the same livery, you make the middle black, even less bright, and that's it. I don't think there's a whole lot else to be said about the McLaren. They said, it's all right, let's make it worse, post the car up, and they think they moved on. Hopefully, they spent more time working on performance than they did delivery.
Okay, so everybody watching, just copy what Garrett said and just replace it for what I'm about to say. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do here, because I agree. I think the only different comment I made with you, Garrett, was the kind of diagonal stripe. It just I don't know why. I'm like it's an orange zebra. I don't know why I said that. It's just like the first thing that came into my mind. So I'm just gonna run with it. It's
Hey
a
man,
orange zebra. So
we're here for it.
um, but I never really minded their livery. I just personal take here. Personal take. You ready for this?
Hit it.
Let me find it. Let me find it. This is sick. This should be just their thing.
Right? Black with
Like,
a little bit of orange, not orange
oh,
with a little bit of black.
oh my God.
There's so much potential here.
How beautiful is that livery? Like, oh my goodness. This is badass. You know what I mean? I love it. I think that should have just been it. And they dropped the ball there.
There's a lot of potential.
Yeah,
Swing and a miss.
for sure. For sure. They just dropped pictures. There was no like launch or anything like that, eh?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
one team that did a big launch though, and that was
Oh.
with pretty much a Hans Zimmerman concert attached to it.
Oh, I wonder who those rich motherfuckers are. A
No
lot of
shit,
money.
hey? No shit, hey? There were people
Oh,
bawling their eyes out in the crowd. There were violins and cellos being played. God
listen,
damn.
the one thing I love about Aston Martin and like the brand and even Lawrence Stroll and the whole it's like they have money and they're like it's just like a big flex. Like I always love that about Lance Stroll is just like everyone hates on him, but like, man, that guy is living the life. Like anyone would want to be in his shoes. And like the fact that his dad has an F1 team that he drives in is like the ultimate flex. And like, say what you want, he's not even a bad driver, but like the fact that he's there is just amazing. Like, I think that's cool. I think that's badass. You know what I mean?
I mean, when you're thinking about cool ways to bond with your dad, flying all the way around the world to drive really fast cars and compete for millions of dollars every weekend, it's a not a half bad way to do it.
There's no better way to do it. Like, I think I got into a really big fight online with someone who's just like argued me, had an argument with me, and he's just like, "Oh, like, I made a statement. I'm like, hey, like, you know, Lawrence Stroll and Aston Martin is there partially because of Lance Stroll. Like, now, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, if you're Garrett, if your son had any potential of being the world's best F1 driver and you had an infinite amount of money, would you not buy an F1 team for him?
If I had an infinite amount of money, I don't. That's the problem. If I did, then I would.
that, trust me, I think there's a lot of people watching that kind of have a similar problem. I don't think it's just you, bro. So I think it's completely okay.
If this
But would you?
podcast does really well, Joggy, and you reach your potential on iRacing, we'll use the proceeds of this podcast to buy you an F1 team. You heard it here first. Get this to a $200 million podcast, and we'll
Well,
start the entry process to F1.
yes, we will. We will buy an F4 car, build our way up. Jog is a crazy driver. He's gonna make it all the way up to F1, and we'll use these proceedings to support that.
As evidenced by my performance the other day, I am not the next budding F1 star. Karting, sure. F1, no. Too much
Yeah.
shit to think about at once.
Yeah,
You've got a better shot than I do.
there's a lot going on, and you know, sim racing makes you even appreciate these drivers. Like even the worst drivers, you're like, oh my God, like this is intense. This
I
is
couldn't
like,
be Lance Stroll on a good day.
amen, brother, amen. Um, but what do you think about the livery?
It's Aston Martin, buddy. It is they look similar to last year, but in a good way. They just said, here's another James Bond car. Let's go.
See, I think Aston Martin is already such a beautiful color, like car, like the things just line up, the aesthetic, the company's aesthetic, the name of the brand, like you said, James Bond, class, British racing green, like it just like honestly like why I love Aston Martin. One of the first things I noticed was like, man, that's a good looking car. Like, and call me what you want. I'm a new fan. Yes, first thing I saw was, oh, that car's pretty. I like that car. I like that team. And eventually, I'm lucky. I enjoy Fernando and obviously his driving skill. But man, like I always love this car. And you're right. It's very similar. It's control. It's almost like Control C, Control V again in a lot of ways, but it's already a pretty car.
Pretty car. Now we just got to see if it can put the laps in.
Yeah, they haven't been doing all that well. But I do want to point out real quick for someone that spent so much money on this presentation on this launch, like you could see, like it was done in an immaculate manner and a fashion, and man, their stream was garbage. Like it was so bad. There were so many technical issues. I think at one point Adrian knew he was speaking and his voice started echoing and like the whole like what scale of like production has those kinds of fuck ups? Like, dude,
Someone
get
got
it
fired.
together.
Someone
So
got fired for sure.
100%. Like, I'm trying to open the stream. I signed up for the TikTok freaking reveal like months ago. Like, they've building anticipation. And when I go to log in, it's like, oh, the event has not yet started, and that just goes on for a while to the point where like something's wrong. And then they have an amazing presentation, but the actual quality of the stream and the production was just poor.
Someone got fired. That's all
It
there is
won't be
to it.
it won't be Lance Stroll, I'll tell you that.
Not Lance, but someone on the AV team. They're
Someone
looking
on
for
the
a new
AV
job
team.
today.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, but Aston Martin, my boys, love it. Let's see what they do. And leading on to their performance, I guess we'll talk about the testing a little bit.
Yeah, man. Where are the teams at today? They're in Bahrain.
Yeah, they're in Bahrain, they're testing. It's been looking pretty good. I mean, some of the cars performing, I think Verstappen was on top.
Verstappen was not on top.
Oh, he wasn't. It was McLaren, eh?
McLaren was on top for the fastest time of the day.
Yeah.
Max set the fastest morning, ran the most amount of laps, but Lando Norris squeaked him out by like a hundredth of a second,
Hmm.
or
Interesting.
a tenth, sorry, a tenth.
Okay. For all of those
Running
watching,
later on in the day,
yeah.
different run plans. We still have no clue if all the cars are turned up to the max, but we do know that Super Max went out there and laid in laps like it was his day job. Well, it is his day job, but it was his day, his morning, afternoon, lunchtime snack.
That's the thing. Like the guy, I think we talked about it last pod. He's just like he does this for fun, right? Where I think Garrett, you brought it up to the observation throughout the racing was there was this like everyone's trying to find the tipping point between engine braking and obviously powering up the battery. A lot of drivers have to lift and coast now, downshift at certain times, regain a lot of energy for the power unit. But that being said, where all these drivers are locking up, it seems like Verstappen has it down already.
He's planted in the corners. He's downshifting to the point of what should be breaking the engine, and he's put in 136 laps and set pretty well the fastest time. And so far, no issues. So there's a lot of teams kind of reeling now that they saw that. They're going, "Oh shit, maybe
Yeah.
Red Bull and Ford pulled this off because you know their car's showing up and Max is driving it like it's in a sim, not like it's trying to spin out every time he downshifts into first going around a corner to put a little
And
bit of power into the battery."
what did Toto say about this? And again, this could be all throwing us off, but
Could be a rouse for sure, but Toto said Red Bull is the team to look out for. They might have the sneaky compression ratio over at Mercedes, but when you take engine, driver, and aero package and you put it together, everyone's looking at the Bulls going, oh, "Crap, I think they figured something out."
yeah, yeah, and it goes to show that like they've got a lot of confidence in what they're doing with building a new engine and still putting up these numbers. Now, obviously, big disclaimer for the newbies like us watching this, like testing doesn't show all that much in terms of what's going to happen. A lot of people, what they're bringing in from even the shakedown to the testing is completely different, and I believe that correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of teams will bring something completely different into Australia. Um,
I don't know about completely different, but all these cars are probably tuned down a little bit. They're probably hiding their final elements that they haven't yet unveiled. But it
yeah,
changes. It
for
changes.
sure. I mean, it's
And
gonna,
teams aren't going to show up and run their fastest and show their hand in
yeah,
day one.
yeah,
Uh, but I think the testing really comes down to reliability and trends. And the
yeah.
trend across the board for Red Bull was they were fast across every tire set. They did a bunch of laps and they didn't break down, whereas some other teams breaking down.
That's crazy. What teams actually broke down? I know Aston Martin obviously had some engine issues. They did a very few amount of laps, and they were working on the car for 2 hours to get it back onto track. Seems like they're lagging behind. Honda engine struggling a little bit. Um,
Kimmy only got 30 laps in today.
Kimmy. Is Kimmy
compared to
okay? Didn't he
George
get
with
into a
56.
didn't he get into a car accident?
Yeah, they gave
He-
him a brand new Mercedes and he wrecked it like 2 days later.
it sounds like a young man thing to do, you know?
There's a good reason that I drive a car that's not as fast as a Mercedes because I would have an incredible number of speeding tickets if
Yeah.
I had a car that could speed. But when you're what who for Kimmy, a young kid given a race car and told to drive it conservatively, I don't know.
Good
You're
luck.
Yeah, good luck. You're pretty well
Good.
set to start racking up speeding tickets.
A
Hopefully, he
hundred
just doesn't
percent.
go drive that thing in Finland where they give speeding tickets based on a percentage of your income.
Oh, do they do that?
Yeah. So you might
No
be 10
way.
over, but that might be 10% of your income. You might pay $120,000 speeding ticket.
You're kidding.
I'm not. I'm not.
That is news to me. That's wild.
Don't speed in Finland.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, that makes sense because usually if you're speeding, you have a fast car, and fast cars are expensive cars. And if you have an expensive car, you're making money. So if you're making money, you got to pay a bigger fine because you're paying a less of fine. You're not going to stop speeding. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
If I got $1 billion, speeding tickets just paying to drive fast. I'll pay a tax to drive fast any day if I've got $1 billion. But I
I mean, if
probably
you got a
won't.
billion dollars, buy yourself a racetrack, homie.
Yeah, I'm probably not spending 100 grand per day out that I'm out on a
Uh,
casual drive.
100%. That's crazy. That was definitely news to me. We can see that Lewis Hamilton, he got a yellow flag as well. I think he spun out. I think a lot of people were having some issue getting a grasp on the car. Audi, there was a lot of kind of stir with Audi. And in regards to the side pod, did you see that?
Yeah, man. They went from a car that looked totally normal in their livery unveil, obviously show car,
Yeah.
to zero pod ish, zero
Yeah.
pod ish,
I think
uh, with some pretty aggressive intakes, and everyone was pretty excited about it.
Yeah, and you know what's very interesting about Audi is like a lot of the cars and the teams out there were very like not as secretive. Everyone's kind of secretive, but like these guys put up a full on like mechanic wall around the cameras when they came up, hiding everything, right? And Aston Martin obviously they were spending time working on the car. They had a little literal wall up because of obviously they weren't coming in and out of the garage at the time.
Reliability issues.
Yeah, with a little bit more reliability issues. Guys, come on, Garrett. They're tweaking up the car to make it faster. We know that. They're gonna be okay, right? But that
Allegedly.
allegedly. But it does, like it says right here, it's positioned a little bit further, tighter, more aggressive undercut, cleaner lower edge, looking more compact now. And you can definitely see there's a big difference between Barcelona and Bahrain, and it's like a different car from the side completely.
You got to find the picture from the front.
Front. Let's see if we can find pictures from the front.
That's the one from the front is the shocking one.
Let's take a look. Let's see if Audi F1 has pictures from the front up.
They're not going to show it.
Oh, you can kind of see it from there.
Kind of.
Yeah.
There's better pictures out there. Uh, but it's zero pod ish. It's not zero pod, but
Hmm.
it's certainly something different than any other team's throwing down. So I'm excited to see how it does uh, once we actually get up to speed. But yeah, man, it was reliability issues for Mercedes today.
Yeah, that's interesting. And it just doesn't look like the way things are going. It's really going Mercedes' way. Like they had really good momentum and hype, and all of a sudden testing, all this drama with the FIA, it might just not pan out the way they wanted to pan out. And testing day one didn't really go all too well for them. I think you said Kimi was 11th with only 30 laps in due to some issues, and then George Russell
He put in
again,
56 laps, which is decent.
which is decent for sure. It's definitely keeping up with the others, but the pace obviously was off, and it still wasn't quite there, obviously compared to I would say Red Bull and Ferrari. Can we talk a little bit about Ferrari? I feel like we've been like trashing on them, and they're kind of pulling through right now. It didn't seem all that bad.
I mean, Charles set the third fastest time, put 80 laps in. Lewis
Yeah.
put another 52 in. He was miles off the pace and struggling. But Charles is laying it down.
Yeah, Charles, and
Dare
when we talk,
dare we
talk
say Lando v Max v Charles again?
honestly, I wouldn't mind that. I personally like Charles, and I think he deserves more and deserves better. Um, but if that happens, I wouldn't be all against it. Um, I do want to bring up Esteban was fourth, and that's in a Haas and a Ferrari engine. So I don't know if that also speaks volumes, even at being a customer and client, sorry, customer engine of Ferrari, how they're kind of pulling through with that.
Yeah, they could be running a faster car. But I think what speaks to more is reliability. He put in 115 laps by himself, which is up there, right? It's not as many as Max put in, but it's pretty damn close. And it puts him, I can't do math off the top of my head, but pretty close to the combined laps that Lando and Oscar put in at 58 and 54 respectively. Puts him
Yeah,
pretty close.
for sure.
Do that math.
I think I was reading somewhere that
He did more laps than the McLarens did.
Ferrari's engine is expected now to be close to Mercedes at the get-go of Australia. So I think that's a big statement because if that's the case and it comes down to similar engine performance, we're gonna see if Ferrari really stepped it up with how they design the cars, how they handle. It seems like the cars were um, very difficult to handle last year. It seems like a lot of they were spinning out, they were having trouble cornering, trouble just even handling the car appropriately. And when you hand that car to two of the best drivers in the world, Lewis and Charles, that speaks volumes when they're the ones that are having difficulty controlling the car.
Yeah. Alpine, they really struggle with the balance as well. There's a
Yeah.
few people who are, behind at this point. Hate to hate on your boys, but there's probably a reason you're not wearing their shirt today. And that reason is that Lance Stroll ran the whole fucking day and only put in 36 laps.
Hey, he is
What do
just
they have
taking
to
it
do?
easy. Remember, this is strategic. You can't show all your cards. If you're out the gate flying, you're gonna attract more attention. Right now, people are like, Aston Martin, they're struggling. Let's not worry about them. It's okay.
You got to
Um,
at least be sitting at the poker table to make money, though. You can't be out in the parking lot.
Yo, when you're Aston Martin, you can be out in the parking lot and it'll work. They'll figure it out. They got Fernando, they got Nui, they got Honda, they got the world champion lineup. Everything is checked off. It's just they just gotta put it together. That's all it is.
Fair enough. What do you think of the boys from Williams? They recovered. They put in a crap ton of laps as well, rivaling the numbers that Red Bull was putting up.
Yeah,
What do you
Williams, I just it's hard to pinpoint where they're at. Like yes, they're definitely putting in laps. The car seems reliable. Obviously, they're using a Mercedes power unit. They have a very strong lineup of drivers. But being behind to a point where you miss, an entire shakedown, speaks
had three
volume.
3 days of running in data?
Yeah, it puts you behind, and like I hate to say this, I love James Vowles, but like there's been rumors spreading like, is this guy just a salesperson? Like, does he know what he's doing? He's speaking volumes, but can he back up his words with actions? And like I
He was a
mentioned
big
before,
dog at Mercedes for years, so you'd hope.
yeah, he was, but I mean like. He's working with a bigger dog, Toto, right? Like who's there, and now it's just him, right? So he represents himself, he represents Williams, and he represents his words. Like he had a lot of things to say, um, and it's just like they're behind, and it's not a good look for a team that before all of this we were thinking, hey, they're going to beat Ferrari. I said that Williams might beat Ferrari, right? So
Those
um
preseason predictions are Going
Yeah,
downhill real quick
I
too.
can't wait to like see revisit them at the end of the season and just be like, holy fuck, we were off. But yeah, I said that with passion and faith in Williams and James Vowles, and like yeah, like the fact that people are calling him a salesperson is hurtful because I think he comes from a genuine place. I think he speaks from the heart, and you know you get that sense of like the Ted Lasso effect in him. You know, like he's just like a super friendly, like optimistic, enthusiastic person. He always knows what to say, always has the right things to say. But it just doesn't mean anything until we see it in action and things happen. And 2025 things were happening. So it seemed like, you know, everything was lining up. And I really, really hope for the sake of, you know, James and Carlos, Alex, things do work out because I do love Williams. I do love that trio. But it just doesn't seem very promising for them right now.
We'll see, man. A couple more weeks until we get them on track. A couple more weeks.
I know. Are you excited?
Beyond excited.
It's
Have
like
you marked your calendar yet? March 8th?
man, you see those memes where like, oh, me on March 8th with a speaker, like, you know, and literally it's that is gonna
Good
be
morning,
me.
good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Oh,
My
I've done that.
5.1 surround system is gonna be cranked. The whole neighborhood's gonna hear it.
I was gonna say, God forbid you live anywhere near you. You'll be going deaf.
A
Don't know what's
hundred
happening in the
percent.
race from
Uh,
Delta.
oh, bro, and those cars are louder. I don't know if you heard, but the MGU H that they took out actually made the cars louder. So I can only imagine what they sound like in person. And I really hope one day you and I go to get to witness that in person because that would be phenomenal.
That would be phenomenal. That
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
phenomenal.
100%.
What are you
Anything?
excited about for next week, man? We're gonna hop in with a little bit more understanding of how these teams do after several more days in Bahrain. What excites you most about next week? What are you hoping for?
Well, obviously, I'm hoping for Aston Martin to pull through, and you know, Fernando has yet to drive the car. So, me personally, as a Aston Martin fan, I'm anticipating Fernando, you know, in the wheel of the car and just setting some good laps and kind of, you know, killing some of the rumors for my boys. You know what I mean? Like, so I really hope that they do pull it together because let's be real, like when you have a favorite team, when you have a favorite driver, that's who you're watching. Like that's who you're rooting for. That's where, you know, when your boy has a DNF, you kind of feel it and it kind of ruins your day, you know, if you're passionate enough, because that's happened to me a few times. But
Big
that's
men
what
do cry, and Jog Paul cries about Aston Martin. We
I
know it's
cry.
true.
I cry when Fernando DNFs, and that happened a few times. I think I told you. I think I told you when he DNF'd in Zandvoort. I'm like, dude, this ruined my day. Like
Yeah,
I feel
you're
like shit.
pissed.
I was
You're
pissed.
pissed.
Like,
I've seen you less angry about things going wrong or right at work.
yeah, bro, bro. My work life stays at work, bro. F1 is like stays with me.
Ruins your whole day. That shit'll traumatize you.
Oh man. But how
Classic.
about you, Garrett? What are you looking forward to?
I'm excited by the data. Like as much as I'm not,
Hmm.
a physicist or I'm not well understood in the aero department. I just think it's really cool, and I like hearing people dissect the cars. And I think once you get, a full week of testing, then you get people who actually know about the car. And I'm not one of those people who will be able to explain it in depth, but I'm looking forward to learning about it because I think the new regulations are always super exciting when one team goes a completely different way. When you get an Audi showing up with no side pods, and as we dissect our way through the understanding of the new wings and how these cars are really meant to perform, I'm just excited to learn. I'm
Yeah.
I'm a geek that way.
Oh,
So
for sure.
as much as I'm excited to see a bunch of laps get put down and see who's topping the timing charts, I'm also excited to learn, try to get a very, very basement level understanding of what these engineers are figuring out behind the scenes.
100%. And this is why I love F1 TV. I mean, there's the tech portion of those shows that they break it down so well and analyze all these cars for, you know, fans like us who obviously aren't as dialed in the tech department of things. But it is fun to see how advanced these cars are and how much, is put into them from the science standpoint of racing. And I know that definitely interests you, Garrett, with having the big DR in front of that name. And
Yeah, but that's medicine and this is physics.
hey, man,
This is
just
like the
just roll with
reverse.
it.
This is the reverse of when you're on an airplane and they say, "Is there a doctor on board?" and the PhD stands up. This is me saying, "Yeah, I can understand this," and going, "I've got a DR," and it's like, well, not in anything that has to do with cars. So
Listen, Garrett,
let's
from
take that flux capacitor out and make it work.
for all I know, you gave Williams a really good tip to use Carzempic, okay? To lose that
No,
30 kilos.
Carzempic was my prescription, and they've got that car down a little bit in their weight.
And
So
and hey, they're racing now, so I don't know, man.
James Vowles allegedly called me for that
Yeah,
prescription, and we got it to him stat. So
for sure. 100%.
something about Carzempic, it's going to take off. I think
It's gonna take off for
you heard
sure.
it here first.
We're gonna clip this. This is gonna go.
You'll hear it again next week.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And that, do we have anything else to add on?
No, just excitement. Let's
Just
wrap it up and
excitement.
go learn as much as we can for next week so we can bring something exciting to these guys when we have a little bit more data behind us.
For sure. And on that note, we'll sign off. We'll see you next week. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, follow us on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, wherever we're at. We're everywhere now. But we'll see you soon.
See you soon.